All right, everybody, I need to talk about this because it's really bugging me. I put way too many hours in Nioh 3 this year, and I absolutely loved it, and I was generally hyped for the deals. And 20 bucks later, I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to tell you that it let me down. So what it feels like to play. If you played the base game like I did, you know that Nioh 3 did something different from the first two. It dropped the mission select structure for a full open world, and I actually like that change. A lot of longtime fans didn't, especially once New Game Plus turned every loop into a way bigger time commitment than just picking up a level and going. So going into Hell Rising, I generally wanted to see if Team Ninja used the DLC to smooth any of that out. They didn't, and they just built more on top of it. And even as someone who was rooting for this, the results were messier than I wanted to admit. The story is simple. You're in the Kirin 51 right after the main game. Takashio is Shogun now, and the crucible, that demonic threat from the base game, is coming back, so he jumps forward in time to deal with it, and that's basically the whole plot. You meet a few characters, including a guy from Spain hunting a woman from Spain, some plague doctor looking for alchemist types, and I wanted to care about them, I really did, but none of them got enough time to really land. A lot of the characters were just fun for a scene or two and then just gone forever. Here's the part that actually got under my skin. The story doesn't finish, it just stops on a cliffhanger clearly built for a setup for the DLC 2, Bloody Insurrection. As a fan who's been with this series for a while, getting sold half of a story feels bad, even when I understand why studios do it. Now, the good stuff, because there is some, and I'm not going to pretend that there isn't with this game. The big new addition is the weapon type called the Hoko and the Shield, spear sword paired with the shield. The standout move lets you attack straight into an oncoming hit to repel it, just like a perfect guard that opens up an enemy right up. If you play Monster Hunter, people keep comparing it to the Charge Blade guard point, and honestly, that comparison holds up. Time it right and you stay aggressive instead of turtling. Both samurai and ninja styles get their own version, new martial arts and ninjutsu built around it, and pistol users even get new ninjutsu tricks out of this patch as well. As someone who sunk a lot of time into the game's build craft, this weapon alone gets me excited again for a minute. New enemies bring new soul cores, new summons, new magic, and new guardian spirits, including one early one that actually talks to the spirits that you already have, which is a small detail but is really cool. There's also a huge wave of balance challenges across existing set bonuses and resource costs. There's too many to list, but you can tell they wanted the old builds to still feel worth touching next to the new stuff. Okay, so here's the part where I really regret having to go through, but I really wanted this DLC to be great. But there is some issues. The enemy variety problem is real and is specific. A big chunk of what you're fighting is stuff that you already fought in the base game. The Nuribiki Tukubaba, a bunch of others thrown at you with extra mobs to make you feel busier, but it's all recycled and not new. Even some of the returning boss tier yokai like the giant toad or Akamaraku aren't new additions, they're just back. And the bosses that actually are new skew heavily humanoid instead of yokai, which stings a little if you're a longtime fan, because yokai fights are what the series have always done best. Not that the humanoid fights are bad, there's one fight pitting two coordinated ninjas against a hostile spear samurai in a tight area that generally ranks as one of my favorite encounters in the whole DLC. But overall, it just felt like a team that didn't have enough time or budget to build a full new beastnary. There's also a generally rough first impression baked right into the patching, and that one stung because it's the very first thing you fight. The opening boss, Yagyu Jubail, is roughly your size and is fast enough that his attack telegraphs get hidden behind your own character model. It's frustrating even though he's not considered that hard once you learn him. Right after that fight, one of the new smaller enemies is a quick little frog yokai with the exact same visibility problem. And then there's a dragon yokai encounter that's just straight up badly built. It's crammed, mostly dry waterway. Camera can't lock into it properly in that tight space, and it clips through the scenery, and it has this screen filtering tornado attack with nowhere to run. The first time you meet this thing, you are basically guaranteed to die. It generally does not feel like anyone play tested that specific fight in that specific room. And as someone who trusted this dev team, that one bothered me the most because it probably should have been tested. The new Enlightened Journey New Game Plus tier is the other sticking point. Raises your level caps, gear caps, soul caps, and adds a curse buff that makes certain enemies noticeably nastier until you break it. Burst, break, weak point, hit, or draining the stamina system into a grapple. That's a real system, but it's mostly just numbers climbing, not new mechanical depth, and it generally feels like a placeholder for whatever the next DLC is actually going to bring. There's also 100 Demon Realms picture scrolls, a new mashup mission type with modifiers, which hints at where the endgame is eventually headed. Right now though, it feels unfinished. I don't want to sound like I'm just dumping on it because there's real craft here too. The new zone itself might be my favorite part of the whole D. Big, open, and generally varied. War-torn villages with the actual color to them, dense forests, and creepy underground sections, and this strange library era that's clearly pulling from Bloodborne. The pacing works too, starting at a war-torn version of Endo Castle before it opens up into the rest of the map. Performance held up clean, Pita. The game performance held up clean even with maxed out settings. Nioh 3 is still one of the best looking games this year, and the DLC hasn't hurt that at all. The Hoko and Shield weapon is generally well made on its own merits, and the new Guardian Spirit in the Soul Cores gave me a real reason to go back and mess around with builds that I thought I was done experiment with. So where does this leave me as someone who generally loved this game? If you've been playing Nioh 3 consistently and you were already buying this no matter what I say, you're gonna get a great new weapon, a generally beautiful new area, and enough build tweaks to keep tinkering with. And that's real value right there. I'm not gonna pretend that it isn't, but I'd be lying to you if I said $20 for 5 to 8 hours of an unfinished story, built heavy on recycled enemies with at least one badly designed encounter, and an in-game tier that is mostly just number bumps. It was an easy yes, because it kind of isn't, and I say that as someone who wanted to walk away with this, recommended it without hesitation. If you're on the fence, I would say just wait a while, maybe wait for a patch or wait for a bundle once Bloody Insurrection actually finish the story this DLC starts. That's the honest advice I would give a friend who asked me, and that's the same advice I'm gonna give you. But that's it for Nioh 3 Hell Rising. I want to know if I'm alone on this, or did you love it, or did it let you down as well? Drop it in the comments because I'm generally curious where the rest of the fan base landed. Hit subscribe if you love this type of content. I love when YouTube gives me money for yapping. And I'm on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday night at 9:30 Eastern time. Come hang out and watch me play some Nioh. Until next time, stay sharp, and as always, stay alpha. Catch you in the next one.